Grim here of GrimDaggz, back again, finally, after what seems like forever. Bit of bad news. My PS4 had recently died, and it was extremely traumatic in the fact that it's, along with it, I lost over 860 gigs of content. You know, this is going back many years. I can't even begin to deduce how many hours that would be. That's pretty much 300 hours of content, if anything. The way, as big as the channel is currently, multiply that by 3, and you come close to how much was lost. And before anyone goes into, I was like, oh no, it's like you should have moved it, moved it out a long time ago. I have been moving it out. A lot of the stuff that's already been posted has been moved out, and I was able to save approximately 10 hours of additional footage that should be going up shortly. Thankfully, that was saved. But yeah, that's a lot, and it takes a very long time for to move content out, which was pretty much almost every night of several hours here and there. But oh boy, it still hurts. I was able to save the saves and the games. Everything else is safe for the most part. I was able to get a replacement PS4 Pro that apparently was delivered by a very confused soccer team that thought the package was the soccer ball. It looks like it was extremely in rough shape, to say the least. Oh my god. Parts of it has been cracked, and the back portion is exposed, and the power cord does not stay on its own. If you just look at it wrong, it falls out. So at least it's working, right? Look on the bright side, right? Just an FYI, anyone who knows someone who's going through a lot of pain and stuff, just know that they do not want to uninstall themselves. They just want the pain to go away. And sometimes serious situations that seem to go on, forever, that seems like an option. So please be there for them, as some awesome people has been there for me. Super special shout out to Daggz, who recently celebrated her birthday, which came right after the channel. Happy belated birthday to the channel as well. This was supposed to come out long before then. A lot of stuff was supposed to have happened, but yeah, things happen and stuff. So finally things are coming together. Yeah, special shout out to Daggz. She got way more content coming soon, which is awesome. We just recorded a whole lot more, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. Special shout out to Here With You, who's got a ton of new content coming soon. Among those, some pretty hilarious and amazing collabs with us. Another special shout out to Silent Gamer, who's just producing amazing content and stuff, has kept the stream going over on his channel. It's been growing ever so nicely, so go over, drop off a visit and say what's up. He got some giveaways that goes on from time to time, so it's like, yeah, tell him GrimDaggz sent you. And definitely a special shout out to Vash, just for being Vash and always being there, often quiet, never forgotten, and never zero. So without further ado, let us proceed with why we are here. Wolf is back, baby! Wolf is coming back after all this time, finally! Wolf Among Us returns with Season 2. We seriously thought this will never, ever happen. Especially with all the insane drama that's been going on for so long. My God. in order to understand why this is such a big deal, we're gonna have to start all the way from the beginning. Telltale Games, the creators of Wolf Among Us, was originally known for, simple, classic, fan favorite games like Sam & Max and Grim Fandango, and even Back to the Future and such like that, Monkey Island, just trying to keep that type of old school point and click gameplay alive. And it wasn't until The Walking Dead Season 1 came out that they literally blew up. And they won, I think it was the first game that won over 100 Game of the Year awards, and it just literally put them on the map. They exploded, and all eyes was on Telltale. It was around this time that Wolf Among Us first came out, and it's as good as it was. The only reason why it wasn't as considered as good as the first season of Walking Dead was because no one really knew what Wolf Among Us was all about. But those people who did play was blown away. It's like the music, the art style, the story, like the characterizations, everything. It was just beautifully, masterfully done. And just when season 2 of Walking Dead is about to come out and they were getting ready or trying to get ready for season 2 of Wolf Among Us as well, things begin to happen. Without going into too much detail and running the risk of turning this into a flat out political rant, what had happened was that a lot of unearned, undeserving, positive attention was provided to a game that did not deserve it because of vagina. And this led to some of Telltale's some of their best creators believing that this was the route to take, and they left Telltale in order to do a similar game themselves, which actually turned out to be very, very good. This left Telltale as a brand in a precarious spot, forcing them to try to pump out another banger as good as Season 1 Walking Dead, but without the talent that made that happen. And more attention was being taken away from a Season 2 Wolf Among Us. As a matter of fact, everything was beginning to suffer. So a Season 2 Wolf Among Us became furthest from becoming a reality until Batman happened. When that came out, everyone thought, oh my goodness, Telltale is back to true form, in which people kept on demanding a Season 2 of Wolf Among Us, and that's when this announcement was made.
Okay, Mundies. You've been bugging me for 3 years. Where's Season 2? Where's more Wolf Among Us? Well, it finally paid off. Congratulations. Season 2, 2018.
But it never happened. 2018 came and went, and then to keep everybody interested, they released this.
There was a time when you were heartless, brutal, a monster. And I'm proud of you for changing all that, but I'm here to ask you to be those things once more.
Getting freaking goosebumps just watching this again.
For them. For me. Can I count on you? Bigby, can I count on you?
Always.
They go so far as to hire a new director and a staff to make sure that this happens, that this game happens. And literally days later, Telltale Games shuts down. That's it. They go out of business. And just like that, like everything they had planned, including Season 2 of Wolf Among Us, goes out the window. Everything goes bye-bye. It got so bad that Skybound came in and forced them, made sure that the series finale of The Walking Dead gets its proper due. It closes off on a high note, and that's it. Once again, like, Wolf Among Us gets, the shaft. Life goes on, new games are played, and Wolf Among Us remains a special place, in gamers' hearts. And everyone realizes that, perhaps it's, like, for the best, while forever wondering what could have been. And one day, out of the blue, news is heard that the band is getting back together. The original creators are returning to finally make Season 2. And here it is.
You're listed here as a private investigator. What does that sort of work entail?
Depends on the night. Most nights it's watching, waiting for a slip-up.
This looks good.
I don't know, someone gets greedy, someone gets brave.
And that's what you were doing the night of the incident.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Took me weeks to track him down.
There he is!
They hadn't cast so much as a shadow. Till that night.
Yo.
You've been hesitant to share with us. I assume it has something to do with confidentiality associated with the job.
This is leaps and bounds better than the original. Oh, here we go. Oh, Tin Man. Oh boy. That must be Dorothy. It's Scarecrow.
Something like that.
Your boss, Miss White, said things didn't go as planned.
Why does it suddenly sound like
mentioned
Harley
that there
Quinn?
was some violence?
Oh. Oh no. She got no shits to give. Oh my god. Oh
In
no.
moments when you find yourself losing control.
Oh. Uh-oh. Oh?
How does the anger manifest itself?
Yes! Okay, we need to unpack all of this before we sum up the entire backstory. But before that, can we at least appreciate the fact that frickin' Big B here is rocking wool? You got the literal wolf in sheep's clothing. Like, this is beautiful. I love it. Alright, this awesome trailer starts off here at the Good Sleep Hotel, which is a brand new location. So I like the world building we have here. Obviously, that we know now that that's the Tin Man walking in a raincoat in the rain, which is kind of risky considering his backstory. So obviously he's desperate, and we got here Big B styling in his wool coat. And can we appreciate how moody this looks? Like, look at the lighting. The lighting has always been good, but this is like a brand new tier of awesome. Jeez. Like, oh my god. And the mood, like everything, the ambiance, all this stuff is just fantastic. It just emphasizes what made the first season like so good. That's obviously Dorothy. You know, no Toto in sight, and also no Cowardly Lion. So that might be a thing as well. Can we also appreciate that the first one started off with Big B dealing with the woodsman and Scarecrow over here stimulating his brain. I love that. I love the little nuances. But yeah, the first one began with, you know, Big B dealing with a woodsman, and now here he is dealing with another woodsman, the Tin Woodsman. It's just hilarious to me, dude. That's just so unnecessary. I'm like, bruh, and obviously it's like she could care, man, she could not care less. Like, and I have a feeling that the story is built around her. It's gonna be about her, and as we clearly see here, and she's smiling here, so this means something that's significant. You know, as Bigby said in here, it appears to be he's in a werewolf form. Originally, he was in a wolfman form, and I really liked the idea of them doing, going old school with his werewolf form. Well, his wolfman form, I should say. But, well, if you pay attention to the first one, he has, like, his feral form, and that's his first stage. Then he goes full-blown, like, werewolf. And then after that, when, like, he really needs to, he goes full big bad wolf, and that's his full, complete, gigantic lichen form, like a dire wolf form. But I'm not sure if this form here, his werewolf form, is the new look for his wolfman form, or that's yet another form in between wolfman and big bad wolf. If any of that makes any kind of sense, it's just, interesting to see. Also interesting is the fact that he's obviously here for the Scarecrow, and if you notice his demeanor, he's not much, he's not much of a threat. So it's like, I doubt he's here to pick him up for unpaid parking tickets. The main threat here is the Tin Man, and he was out doing his own thing. Obviously it was very important because he's out, he had to go out in the rain. And, just here, that always gets me. Just here, sitting there and stuff is like Dorothy. Well, I'm assuming that it's Dorothy. For what reason? Like, I have no clue, but she does not seem to be, to have any concerns about what's going on around her. More annoyed than anything. But I honestly believe, because of that setup, that much like the first one, how you go in for one particular assignment and then it just balloons into something else, like, she's going to be the focal point of the new story in this new season. Also curious is the fact of, Big D going or attending what appears to be anger management classes. Freaking AA meeting. I need to quit smoking. I'm not a quitter. There's gonna be a lot of jokes on this. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be interesting to see that play out and stuff, because it looks like he's actually trying to better himself. Try to do good, and taking hints from the previous trailer that came out a couple of years back, when Snow was asking Big B to, sorry for all the progress you've been making, but we kind of need you to be an asshole. So yeah, another theme of this is probably going to be him balancing between good and bad, and the anger management group is going to best tell that, his stage, his progression between one side and the other. It is also interesting to see that he's here. He's like a private eye. I always considered him as a private eye, but true, what everyone was mentioning before, no, he's the sheriff. He's the sheriff, kind of of Nottingham, but of Fabletown. And you know what? Saying that out loud, now it's a realization, because if he's legit a private eye and not a sheriff anymore, that would mean that there was a falling out between he and Snow White. And judging by the fact that he's had AA meetings and stuff, he did not quit. She probably fired him. So there is a lot of things going on here. So I cannot wait until this finally comes out after so long, and maybe see if some of these predictions and observations are, turn out to be true. Now, onto the main reason why all of this is such a big deal. To explain quickly, we here at this channel, GrimDaggz, we typically like a good story. I especially like a good story, be there in books or in movies, but especially in video games because they're so involved and in-depth and it's so detailed. All those experiences are then posted on here whenever we can so that everyone can enjoy and forget about the rest of the world, all the BS, their work, their drama, all that stuff. They leave it out and they come here to enjoy, just like everyone else has a right to enjoy and deflate from everything. And the last thing that anybody needs at any time is to be constantly reminded of what's going on out there, the very thing you just want to leave behind. You want to take a vacation from life, from drama, from work, from all these things, and just relax for a couple of hours. Hell, even just for a couple of minutes. And it's just like you just can't get away. And it becomes more so annoying when your favorite thing, the very thing you go to unwind and relax, gets tainted by people who do not understand the industry, who do not understand the craft or its importance, all the nuances, none of that stuff. And, you know, even if they mean well, they mess it up. They are completely dishonest, they are disloyal, they are misinformed, and they misinform others. And because of that, because of the lies and the cheats and the steals they did, but mostly the lies, the unjust lies that they just like spew out there constantly, they fooled a couple of like honest, hardworking creators into thinking that one venture is better than another when their company that they put on the map is at the height of their game. And they left, and it left them in a bad spot because of like, you know, bad whatever. Like, you know, these guys are so good, they took a failing venture, an unproven venture, which is the walking simulator, and they just created another classic. That's how good they are. They touch anything and they're gold, but they took that talent with them primarily and left the company at the peak of their fame to struggle and stumble when they didn't have to. It was completely unnecessary. And they have every right to make their decision as they did, but it would have been far more understanding and better if it was based on actual truths instead of twisted facts and just pushed lies. For lack of a better phrase, they were manipulated. And them leaving had no positive effect on the company they left behind, which ultimately ended up tanking. So anyone could argue anything, but the end result is undeniable. They left. The company failed. Who's to blame? Well, it's just basic cause and effect at this point. However, there is some good news, because even though this affected gamers everywhere, it affected games everywhere, the bright side is Wolf Among Us Season 2 is happening. It's coming back, and to be honest, it doesn't have to be stellar. The fact that it's being created, it means a lot. It means creators out there, it means just people in general are working hard together to make something happen, to bring back something, and it may not be as good as it once used to be. The fact that they're doing it means a whole lot. And that's why it means something. I lost my PlayStation 4. I will never get back what I lost. But it doesn't have to end there. And this doesn't have to end here. And you don't have to end when you are. It all keeps on going. And it's up to us to make something about it. To give it meaning. And I see that here. That is why this means so much. Art imitates life, which imitates art, which imitates life, and just keeps on going. You guys have a great one.